Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first health shop of the year for natural health. So we're going to have fun as usual. This month we're talking about energy, and which is a good topic to start the year out. We want to have plenty of energy, and tonight we're talking about sugar versus fat, how that's used in the body, and I'm going to start by kind of just talking about the metabolism, how the body works with it as a food source wise, and then Dr. Chip and Master Eddie will talk about more things in a while. Coach Eddie. So, so again, don't forget to hit the likes and the hearts and notification buttons and all that good stuff. We sure appreciate all the support. And again, we're going to have these every Monday of the year. I don't think we missed any Mondays this year. I don't think there's too many. It might be a holiday or two, one in there, but won't miss any. But we'll try to keep it enlightening. And if you have any questions, you can always put that into the comment section there, and we'll answer those either now or later. Or you can always call the office. Number here is 217-228-2040. So good. Also, an invitation. I know the COVID business is on, but people are always welcome to come to these live at our office here, 2000 Jefferson, and just view. And kind of as an incentive, if you come to the actual meeting, we'll do a free a nutritional analysis for you if you want. And we appreciate that. And we have no problem. We're not testing positive or anything, so it's all good there. So anyway, our antibodies are all built up because we take good nutrition, eat well, so we're not too worried about it. So anyway, I'll get started on here, because this is something to worry about. I'm going to start by showing you a couple slides. Now, when we talk about sugars and fats, I mean, people get this idea of sugar being donuts and fats being about fatty, crappy foods. All the fried foods and all that kind of junk, and they think that that's, what you're talking about when you're talking about fats. And of course, if we just look at French fries there, the potato is not a bad problem. It's actually a starch, which is a sugar. It's just the oil that is fried in. And if they're bad fats, most of the things you get at stores or restaurants are fried in a bad fat. Synthetic form, and that's bad. That causes problems to the body. It doesn't like that at all. So really, in one form or another, refined sugar is just as bad as processed or refined fats. So the body doesn't like either one. So we're talking about sugar versus fats. Well, in that context, they're both bad. So we're going to go to another slide here. And again, people also get this idea of, they think of sugar and sugar cubes, processed sugar, and then they look at butter. So, that's another problem with mainstream medicine. It started back in the 50s. If you go into the history of fats and the problems there it sprang from President Eisenhower's heart attack way back in 52 or whatever it was. And so Ansel Keys decided that, after some thinking that it's got to do with the cholesterol and fats, so nobody should eat any butter. So everybody started eating margarine and processed oils and all that junk, and cancer and diabetes all just skyrocketed, and it's still going up in this country. That's why half to two-thirds of this country is obese, and a third to a half of this country is diabetic or pre-diabetic. So the report card for that kind of thinking is not very good. And so if you want to get healthy, you have to look at what's behind this, what is actually making it work in the human body. So we'll take a little closer look at a more healthy aspect here of sugar. So, again, you have the teaspoon of sugar here, and they're trying to get you to think that this teaspoon of sugar is the same as the sugar in this strawberry. Which is exactly not. The sugar in the strawberry is in a food source, so all the minerals and cofactors and coenzymes and covitamins and things that are needed to use the sugar correctly are in the fruit, but they're not in processed sugar. Processed sugar is not a food, it is a drug. It works in the body as a drug. So our bodies were never meant to have processed sugar. We have grown up over the millennia of eating fruits that had sugar in them, so we have a taste for that. The body likes the energy from that, but these are not the same foods. Now, an avocado, you can't go wrong here. A great source of fats, good quality fats, plant-based fats. Now, the only thing you have to look at is plant-based fats are harder to digest in the human system than sources from animal sources like butter, good quality butter. So I wanted to go into this good fats, bad fats thing. I think I kind of explained the deal with the sugars. There, processed sugar is something we're not meant to have, but in a food source, it's okay unless you have problems with it. We'll talk about that in a second. But you have your good sources of fats up here, like good meat sources, and red meats are a good source, but some people don't digest red meat very well. Avocados are fine. Good fats in nuts there. They do have, I think that's supposed to be butter there. That's a good fat source. But bad fats are the junk in pizzas and different bad oils that things are fried in. Those are the bad sources. And the reason they're bad is because they're processed. They've taken out of food context, and they're most of the oils that we have at the grocery store were started out as machine oils. If you get into the history of it and learn how these oils were developed, they were developed as machine oils, and our human body is not really meant to have those. Also, another thing I'll point out right now too, like pizza, the problem there becomes a combination of food problems. So you're combining the starch, the sugar of the crust with the proteins and fats of the toppings. Of course, it tastes very good, you know, and so that's what problem our society's gotten into, is that we can order a pizza anytime we want, and people do it. And of course, they have weight problems. At the beginning of the year, everybody's looking for weight solutions. Now I'm seeing a big deal on, I had a patient ask about today, this one doctor is promoting a certain kind of olive oil. And if you drink a cup of that a day, you're going to lose all kind of weight and things. Well, again, does that make sense, common sense? When you go out in the nature and drink a cup full of olive oil just hanging around? No. I mean, there's things about being thin or healthy. You can be thin and healthy, but you want to be healthy. That's the main thing. So that's what we work at Natural Health, is getting people healthy. Little calories versus metabolism chart here. So 100 calories of sugar, 50-50 fructose and glucose is metabolized differently from 100 calories of glucose alone, which is starch. Now, 100 calories of sugar, fructose is a fruit sugar, and actually your table sugar is fructose and glucose. That's what table sugar is. Now, 100 calories of glucose from starch, that's broken down like in starchy foods. So that is different. Fructose is a very hard sugar for the body to deal with. And the liver has to deal with it, and it causes blood pressure issues and all kinds of things. That fructose is a troublemaker. Now, the reason that is important is because most fruit sugar is fructose. So when you eat a lot of fruit all the time, our bodies were never meant to do that. Our bodies were meant to have fruits once a year when they ripened. That was it, and you just ate that a lot and got fat, and then you could handle the winter time. So that's the caveman type of thing. You want to look at the paleo diet. Paleo caveman didn't eat fruit all year whenever he wanted to, or on his cereal in the morning. He only had it once in the fall or in the end of the summertime. So anyway, and the glucose is metabolized differently from 100 calories of protein or 100 calories of fat. Hormonal responses are entirely different. And so you got to look at how the body uses this physiologically. The chemists want to look at the heat calorie, so that's why they make this 100-calorie thing. And we've been told about this calories in, calories out thing. A lot of people think that's a diet equation. It's not. It has to work with the hormones and how that works. If your body is not making hormones, if you don't digest well, if your liver's not working good, you won't digest proteins and fats very well, and you'll absorb sugars. Another thing to look at is the glycemic value. We'll talk probably more about that as the year goes on, but you can look it up, and different sugars have a higher glycemic value. So like table sugars, a glycemic value of 100, where a potato, I think is 10 or something. I mean, it's really low. The body will absorb it more slowly. But a glycemic value of 100 means the body will just suck the sugar right in. It makes your insulin really spike high. That drives a lot of heart disease. So a lot of problems with sugar. And we want to try to get our bodies away from all this sugar, which the holidays, of course, promote, and get our bodies into, if you want to know about keto, we do a lot of keto work here at the office, but getting the body to be more of a fat burning machine. Your body doesn't like to lose weight if you keep eating sugar. The insulin comes up. Insulin, when it goes up, it makes you retain the sugar into fat. So if you want to lose weight and do it healthily, you want to try to get your body working into a fat burning machine there. So I hope that helped you with a lot of information about fats and sugars, why certain kinds of sugars are bad, why certain kind of fats are bad, but a lot of fruit sugars, our food sugars can be good in moderation depending on how your body works, because everybody's body is different and we're not all the same. And so metabolism is different. Men can metabolize sugars better than women. That's just the rules. But it's not meant to be sexist. It's just what it is. So you just have to know how that works in the body, and we know how to do that. We know how to work with people all the time here at Natural Health with weight, but we want them to be healthy, not just thin. So hope that makes sense. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Chip next, and he'll talk about some more fun things. Dr. Chip.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of good information there. Now I'm going to kind of give you a different perspective, a different angle, but try to actually incorporate those different things that Dr. Mark talked about. So I'm Dr. Chip, by the way, and we'll go over the sugar versus fat. So I'm going to give you little 3 pictures. I'm going to kind of make it a little short story here. So what does a teaspoon, sugar cubes or sugar, and blood have in common? Well, at one moment in time, that your body only has 1 teaspoon of sugar in its bloodstream. So why is that important? It's because our bodies were never meant to be overloaded with so much sugar. We are very good, or our bodies are very good at utilizing sugar, but if we keep overloading the system, then it creates problems. And so when we have too much sugar going on, too much sugar in the blood, you can kind of go back to diabetes. But this causes a lot of different issues, just like achy joints, different digestive issues. This is kind of a big thing. So I'll go ahead and kind of say that, again, the blood in your body amounts to 5 liters, and your blood holds roughly a teaspoon of sugar. Now again, a teaspoon is roughly 5 grams. So 5 grams, you could think about those little cubes here. One of those cubes is a gram, I think. So again, 5 grams, that's all it has, and it's at one time. And that's all it needs at one time. Now I'm going to give you a little, kind of again, a little short story, kind of explaining how this process works. Now when we eat a lot of foods, a lot of sugary foods, again, these are fruits, these are good whole foods here, but it could be any foods. Again, your body breaks that down really well and makes it into sugars for our bodies to utilize. Now, again, the pancreas is an organ that we have. It produces insulin, so it helps our bodies to either store or use that energy, that glucose that the body breaks down that food so that we can actually use or store. And so, first it will actually, it'll do two things here. The pancreas will produce the insulin, which drives the sugars into the cells of our body. And so two major parts that glucose is driven into, especially the cells of, is the liver, again, the liver of the body, and the muscles of the body. Now, again, we can only take so much sugar at a time. And so our muscles can actually store that glucose as glycogen so that we can do different things. The liver also can store a good amount of glucose or glycogen there too. Now, this is important if we want to have a good ability to do exercise, all that in general. But if we're not exercising, if we're not moving our bodies, if we're not utilizing that glucose or the muscles or all that insulin is going to instead put the sugar or the glucose that we're making, that's being broken down from the foods, and it's going to store it as fat, the triglycerides. And so the body does that on purpose, because if it wasn't able to utilize or transfer that sugar that's produced and put it into fat in our cells, the blood would get so, you would say, so much sugar that we would actually pass out, or we could actually get into a coma and die. So again, our body is very, very good at doing this, and it's very good at adapting. But again, like anything, too much of anything for too long a period of time can overload the system, can cause the pancreas to burn out, not being able to produce that insulin, which can lead to further issues. So again, the glycogen, the things that are the glucose, the sugar in our muscles and our liver, it's actually being or supposed to be used for certain things, such as intense workouts. Again, you have a little jar opening here, but he's doing it very intensely. He's putting a lot of effort into it. And that's with anything, just big, intense workouts. And again, it's actually used to more of our fight or flight system. If we needed to rush out of a burning building, or we need to run away from something, or we need to fight something, that was what the glycogen is being used to. We need a quick burst of energy. And you could kind of go further into different creatine, all that, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about sugar and fat. So now we'll talk about the other side. When our body stores it as fat, we use fat mainly for long duration activities. That could be working, different construction activities or construction workers, but just different normal activities we do throughout the day. That could be even walking or even light jogging. That's more of our fat being used. And so again, it's more of like when you're doing gentle activities, doing nice calming relaxation activities, that's when you're using the fat. Now I put this picture here too, just to reiterate that when you do give even a person, an adult or kids, a lot of sugar at one time, their blood sugar goes way up and then goes way down. And that's what sugar can do, is that that's that overactive system there that is trying to burn up that sugar, because you can't store it too fast or too much. And so that's what the kids are doing. They're burning off all that sugar, but they're actually trying to balance it out. So if you eat a lot of sugar and don't move, then you're going to start feeling very nauseous and all that too. And so if you don't have a good pancreas working there too. So again, we need to make sure that we're not overloading our system with too much sugar. But again, our bodies are amazing. Our bodies have evolved a lot to be able to adapt to many different things. Now, what we first need to do is we need to understand that and respect our bodies. Again, if we treat foods not like fun, but as fuel, then we can kind of change our perspective a little bit and see that we're actually fueling or utilizing that food and giving our bodies the correct energy or nutrients it needs to carry out life. Now, again, our bodies are good at adapting. And so that's what Dr. Mark was saying, is that when we get our bodies in better fat-burning modes more of the time, then we can it's okay to go back to eating a little sugar here and there. But if we're overdoing it with the sugar, then we burn out a lot of different things, and it's really hard for our bodies to get back into that fat-burning mode. And that's why after a while, when we're not eating sugar or anything like that, we can get cranky, we can get irritated really quickly. And that's more of that addictive nature, like Dr. Mark said, is that it kind of acts like a drug now. It's that we have different cravings, we get, again, that moody, and we get kind of compulsive a lot of times. And so, but that fat burning mode is more of a calming energy. And so again, we can go back and forth, and when we do that, our bodies are very good at adapting to the foods that we eat and the energies that we can use. So again, that's all I have for today. And we're going to turn it over to Coach Eddie, and he'll take it away.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Chip. So I'm Coach Eddie, and I'm going to go over energy, but also as it pertains to the energy when it comes to the sugar versus fats. We're kind of looking at more of what Dr. Chip was saying about the respect. Our bodies are amazing, but so are our minds. That's something that I look into a lot, but especially as it pertains to energy, because really everything is energy. So we're going to be coming here, and I want to look at as it pertains to why the resolutions don't work. As it pertains, a lot of people out there, they like saying, oh, I want to eat healthier this year, or I want to stop eating so much sugar. Well, as we look it through the minds, we can find a much deeper understanding to why some people's resolutions just don't work very well. And I want to look at the actual definition of resolution within itself. Resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something. Now we're looking at this, we're looking at resolutions, and everyone finds the things like, oh, I don't want to do, I don't want to eat this much sugar, or I need to start working out more. We're making resolutions, but I want to let you know that when we talk about the minds, we're talking about the power behind these minds, and these minds are controlling 95% to plus of your life. Now when we're looking at this, we're looking at the attitudes, the behaviors, our own personalities, our thoughts, our emotions. Everything down those lines is what we can focus on if we really want to conquer our New Year's resolutions. And we can have much more clarity, much more energy to progressively get us forward to achieving much more goals throughout the day. Now, the big one that I look at is the being part of things. Now, the being part of things, because we are human beings, the being part of things is going to be taking a snapshot or a picture. But this picture is going to be worth 1,000 words. Let me explain. So if I am starting my New Year's resolution and I told myself I want to eat healthier, I want to do a resolution, I want to do something new. So I'm eating my salad, but I'm eating my salad just to get the salad down. I'm just doing things, but I have this mindset that, okay, if I just get the salad done, that means I'm going to lose weight. And we all get stressed out when we do these New Year's resolutions because we're telling ourselves, if I don't do this, then it's not going to happen. And we constantly get ourselves in that state. But really, are we actually being that person as if that resolution is already completed? Now, this is the way to actually condition the mind so you can absolutely conquer every single one of your New Year's resolutions. Because if we're going to eat something healthy, let's just say if I am going to eat a salad, then let's be that person as if I've already been eating a salad for months on end. So what will happen there, let's just say, going back to the situation or the analogy that I had, if I am eating my salad and I'm starting this New Year's resolution, I want to eat this salad as if I've had this multiple times and I enjoy it. It's the same thing if we have a resolution for drinking much more water. So it's the being part of things, not so much the doing itself, but it's the being that's actually getting that picture that's worth 1,000 words, and that is what's going on in the mind. That's the powerful part of it. And if we actually get this being part, if it's already in our life, then that's what's going to condition the mind for you to be able to get that trait of you completing that resolution. Now, if we do the things after we be it, do the things like I eat this salad and then I relax, I breathe, and I let that food digest more, that'll allow me to have the resolution. That will allow me to have the resolution that I'm willing to go forward. So I'm going to back up and do this one more time. I want to be the person first. It's not about the doing. The doing will come, but it's the being. It's the signal that you're giving out to your mind for you to be that person as if. It will save you so much more time because I've done some resolutions in my past that I had to do this, and that, and I gave myself even so much guilt, the fact that I didn't complete it. So the guilt is who I was being, so I wasn't able to get that resolution in my life. But I'm going to be, this year, I'm going to be this happy, confident, this person that's already accomplished all the goals as if they're already true. And then I'm going to do the things to allow me to get that into my life, to have that moment or that resolution already going. So that's all I had for you as it pertains to the New Year's resolutions to allow you to get more energy into your life. And the same thing we can actually apply from eating sugars. If I'm eating less and less sugar, and if I even look at sugar, I take a little bit of bite of sugar, and I'm being that person as if, it doesn't really, I'm not really attracted to it anymore. But if we look at eating more healthier foods and be that person as if I like it, I've been doing it for a while, then that's going to condition the mind much, much easier. So we're going to be changing things up a little bit. I'm trying to make it easier for you guys as it pertains to our social media and our video platforms. So we're at Natural Health Quincy IL on Facebook, Instagram, and then Parler is going to be a new one that we're turning to for different purposes. But what we're kind of looking at here is we're going to be able to reach out many more people so we can help out and support them. We are also going to be on Brighteon as well as YouTube. Those are going to be all of our health shops. We're going to have those updated for you, especially on the YouTube. And then this middle one here is going to be our email. And our email, if you go to our website at naturalhealthquincy.com and you go all the way down to the page, you will see that you can subscribe to our new email list, and you can see Dr. Chip, Dr. Mark, and I's blogs. We got plenty of great recipes on there, and we'll keep you guys informed of what health shops that we have going next, so you guys can plan ahead and we can get it rolling. So I believe that's all I got for the moment. I will next time have our website, our website as well as our address and phone. But we're located at 2000 Jefferson in Quincy, Illinois, and our phone number here is at 217-228-2040. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and see you next week. Thanks.